Welcome, everybody. We are the Uneducated Gamers podcast, and today we have some spicy topics.
It's a spicy meatball.
Say it, Joe.
It's a spicy meatball.
There we go.
Touch my spaghetti.
Spaghetti?
Oh my goodness.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyways, so topics for today, we are going to touch on a very spicy topic around the channel Fireball, TCG Player, eBay, that whole crazy monstrosity of an issue. As always, we will provide some of our most uneducated thoughts, and we do have a special guest that we will introduce shortly. But Mike, Joe, how you guys doing today?
Fucking fantastic.
We're gonna
Middle
go
of
ahead,
the week.
we're gonna go ahead and jump right into this because I think I don't want to keep our special guest waiting. Greg from Shipping Shield, who also is a TCG Player seller. We thought we'd bring you in and have a good conversation around this topic. So, Greg, how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing all right.
All right. Just another day, right?
Yep.
All right. So I'm going to hand the mic over to Mike, and he's going to get us started.
It's Wednesday, Mike.
Wednesday, Mike.
Day.
Holy shit, what happened to those commercials? Anyway.
They canceled Joe Camel or something.
Yeah.
Anyway. No, it was not. It was not Joe Camel. It was not a fucking cigarette commercial.
All right.
All right, audience. In case you haven't all heard, it's been a crazy couple of weeks. And I seem to recall both these acquisitions happened in the space of like 3 days, didn't they? Or was it longer
They were
than that?
really, really close to each other.
About a month, I think.
Yeah.
For those of us in the audience who play Magic the Gathering or various other TCGs, because this will affect Yu-Gi-Oh players, this will affect Flesh and Blood players and Pokemon players, etc. TCG Player decided to acquire Channel Fireball. And then not very long later, eBay announced they were acquiring TCG Player. Although the official word that they post on Twitter says it's less of an acquisition and more of a partnership. They will still retain independent yada yada yada. They bought TCG.
Bullshit.
So suddenly, 3/4 of the legitimate space for buying, selling, and trading collectible cards and card paraphernalia is suddenly all owned by eBay. Discuss.
Okay. Go ahead, Greg.
So hold on real quick. So currently the details of the acquisition, eBay will acquire TCG Player for a total deal value of approximately $295 million. The deal is also obviously subject to customary and closing conditions, including regulatory approvals and yada, 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 right? It's supposed to close Q1 of 2023. And that is literally the disclosed details of the acquisition. There's nothing else right now. So it doesn't really tell us much. But I think one of the things, and this is where I think, Greg, I'm curious to sort of hear your thoughts, right? Is as somebody who sells on TCG Player, like what goes through your mind on, like, what does this mean for you? Or like, what are some things that are really like a sticky wicket for you on this topic?
So as a seller, it's an absolutely big red flag. Most of us on TCG avoid eBay like the plague because they have some of the worst seller support out there. They never will take the side. They never have your back. They'll never, refund you, but still credit the buyer. They just don't care at all for the seller. Which is amazing because their entire platform is based off of other people selling stuff through them. So the biggest concern there is TCG Player actually going to be able to operate independently or not? Also, is suddenly the owners and higher ups at TCG, are they going to start getting bonuses based off of performance? which means is TCG going to start reducing seller support? As in, TCG is great at compensating sellers when they know they kind of have a dirtbag buyer. eBay's never done that, never will do that. But if suddenly TCG Player you're starting to worry about the people, the owners or the CEOs starting to have to worry about their own personal bonus now because of the way things are with eBay. Well, one of the easiest ways to reduce costs is to stop compensating sellers, reduce all those costs there. TCG while has some flaws, it's still a wonderful platform, and overall it's run decently well. A good example for me is I can buy list cards. So I meant to buy list a card for 20 cents. I posted quantity 12 I wanted. I accidentally put in $20. Let me tell you how quickly those got sold. Are bought, I should say. So I'm out $240. I noticed within a couple hours. I email TCG. I'm like, I screwed up. The card's worth about $2. Is there any way we can just do $2 for this sale? I'm out $240 otherwise, when I expected to be out $2.40. So I emailed them. They took about a week to get back to me because they kept me in the loop, and they, I think they need manager approval, but they actually credited me, I think, $200 or $220 back. They knew it was a mistake. They looked. I'd never done anything like that before. And can anybody ever expect eBay to even consider that? I mean, no.
I, for one, have never even used eBay, so I don't even know how the fuck eBay works, to be honest with you.
I have bought used computer parts on eBay, and that's pretty much it.
I bought a lawnmower part today.
Yeah.
From eBay?
Yeah.
So I mean, I have previously been a seller on eBay. I mean, I'm once in a while when I just don't need something, I'll sell it on eBay. But I was for a good couple of years a single seller on eBay. And I would agree, like they focus more on buyer protection than they do seller protection.
They do.
And I can tell you, like, so there's one instance that I even had picture evidence of the cards that I sent this person. And then they decided to claim, and I knew they were legit because, I opened the packs, right? Like anything that I sold, I did not sell like third-party cards that I purchased somewhere else because I didn't want to fall into being the person that accidentally sold somebody a counterfeit card if somehow I accidentally bought a counterfeit card, because you never know.
Happen in Magic?
Oh yeah.
Really?
That's a whole separate topic. But
yeah.
Okay.
Well, I just figured, it'd be pretty obvious.
Yeah.
Fakers are pretty good at it. The manufacturing hasn't changed a whole lot in the last 20 years.
Yeah.
Mm.
So I think one of the things that I struggled with was, it was some of the masterpieces. Actually, it was during the Almaquette block when we had those stupid masterpieces, and they're like, oh yeah, these are fake. And I'm like, come on, dude, they're not fake. I mean, like they had just released. But what happened is the seller shipped them back to me. They never got back to me, but then they refunded the seller or refunded the buyer.
And you were out the money, right?
And I was out the money.
Yep. TCG had nothing like that. I had one customer make a complaint. He messaged me thinking the card I sent him was fake, and this was just hilarious on its face. He thought the heavy played Ice Age counterspell I sold him was fake. And on top of that, he even said, I was concerned they were fake. He bought 4. He's like, so I ripped one in half, and it had a black core, so I knew it was fake then.
Wait, ripped it in half?
Yep.
Yeah. So FYI, fake cards have a black core. Real ones have a bluish, purplish core.
Okay.
So not only did he have all of his facts wrong, he destroyed a good card and still thought he was right. But the moral of the story is TCG doesn't automatically take the customer's side. What TCG does is they say, we'll contact the seller, and TCG will send them a prepaid envelope out to the buyer. The buyer will put the cards in the envelope, and then TCG gets them back and inspects them. And then they inform the customer, hey, we're going to do this. And then once we review these cards, we'll refund you. or they essentially say, we're going to educate you on that these are real, and this is how you can tell it's real, and this is how you can tell what the fakes are. So that's a good full service right there. Not only do they protect the sellers and give the sellers a chance for the cards to be real, but they then educate the buyers. And let's be honest too, yeah, you could buy a proxy, buy the real one, send back in the proxy to TCG, and oh, it's fake now. There's always scumbags out there who will do things like that. But overall, they actually have a system in place that you would never dream to see in eBay. One, they don't have the expertise, and two, they don't care about the sellers.
Yeah, and we'll get to that expertise for a second, because I want to poke at that for a moment, because eBay, doing a certain service now these days. But with TCG Player, another thing that I'll say about TCG Player, I previously purchased a Gaddock Teak when Humans was still a deck. And so I bought a card called Gaddock Teak on TCG Player. It was right before a tournament. And then it arrived. The card was blatantly a counterfeit. It was 100% counterfeit. It didn't smell good. It didn't.
Ignore me.
All of a sudden,
I wasn't going for reactions. I was just messing around.
All of a sudden, Starship Enterprise.
Joe has no idea what we're talking about, so he's just playing around with his Zoom background.
I'm listening.
Well, yeah, you're listening, but like it's like a dyslexic kid listening to poetry.
I get it.
a dyslexic high kid listening to poetry.
I'm dyslexic.
So I contacted TCG, and so this is a buyer's perspective of what you described, Greg, and that's exactly what you just said, right? I opened up potential fraudulent, seller claim, and TCG Player contacted me back and say, okay, we're going to send you a envelope, ship us the card, and we'll take a look at it. And I don't think they thought that I had obviously I have lenses behind me. So I have a macro lens that I took a picture of all of the different angles of the card. And you could tell, like looking in that macro lens, that because of the print pattern, it definitely was fake. So, and you just could feel that it was fake. But yeah, so I sent back the card. And after they received it, I think it was less than a day. And then they refunded me my money.
Yep. And that's the level of service that I think endears a lot of people to TCG as a seller and a buyer, is that extra step happens.
Yeah.
God, how many people do they have working on that shit? That's got to be insane.
It is. It's honestly really impressive how much work they're able to do with their customer service and with they don't do like official card grading, but they're able to look at cards to some degree and say, okay, we can tell this is fake, or we can tell this is damaged, yada yada yada.
Well, if they bought Channel Fireball, they may now own Amber Grading.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that.
No one's brought that up. So yeah, I don't know if Amber is technically it's affiliated with Channel Fireball, whether it's its own distinct company or an affiliate or an ex subsidiary. I don't think anyone's asked yet to clarify either.
But speaking of grading, that was a great segue, Greg, because eBay has also in the last few years have spent a lot of time making significant enhancements to specific types of products, and the collectible category is one of those categories that they've made enhancements to, including doing more insured buyer experiences for grading for authentic cards. I wouldn't say graded cards, authentic. Making sure and confirming that a card is authentic or not. I'm curious, like your thoughts, Greg, on when the eBay authentic service started coming out, have you looked at that as a seller? Like, do you? I don't know if you still sell on eBay, but I'd be curious to understand, like your thoughts on that particular offering that they have.
So what you're talking about is the cards above a certain dollar value going to CSG for authentication, correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Personally, I love the idea in theory, especially on a platform like eBay versus, it'd be good for TCG, but especially on eBay. Let's be honest, eBay is notorious for fakes. It's notorious for allowing people with fake accounts and bogus stuff to go through until eBay starts losing a lot of money, and then they'll finally shut the account down. I mean, they're so big, they just lose so much money because they just don't care. Right. So I love the idea. I mean, I know CSG or CGC for the CCG world is considered a new authenticator / grader. But this is a company that's been around for, I don't know if they've been around decades, but they're another number one comic grader. They're big in the coin and paper bill grading. So it's a legitimate company with serious money and experience behind them. So I would never have considered buying let's say a dual land, an underground C off of eBay ever. Just because I wouldn't have trusted eBay to quickly help me out if the card was fake, or even have the knowledge to help me out if it was fake. TCG, I know no matter what, as a buyer, they'd have my back. So I think even though it may take a little bit longer to get your card, I think it's a wonderful idea and a good program to have. I know they kind of started originally in the sports world where you couldn't buy a Mickey Mantle rookie unless it was slabbed. They just straight up wouldn't allow raw cards. I think that was a good first step. And then I know they locked that down with a couple other cards. You can never buy them raw anymore. So having this extra step for cards over 500 or 750, I think just gives you a lot more confidence when buying through eBay, which they deservedly didn't have before.
So, like, with all this shit going on, what's the absolute worst thing that eBay could do with this deal?
Well,
scorched earth, just worst fucking thing that they could do to make everybody just go, what the fuck?
Shut down TCG and have all the listings in eBay. That's it. Just straight up shut down the site and redirect to eBay. That is without a doubt the dumbest, stupidest thing they could do.
I think the reason, what really makes that the scorched earth policy, they scorch TCG, and what you lose then is that seller service and that buyer education, because we all know that that's what we discussed. eBay is like the Wild West of markets. Suddenly there's nothing you can trust as far as ordering single cards, because everything's going to be faked, because why wouldn't it be?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, if you get away with it, why not?
There's been a couple of posts. There's the official press release for the acquisition, and then there was a Discord post made by one of the insiders at TCG Player that promises it's not going to change. They say, quote, "Importantly, there will be no change in how we work with you, and you can expect the same high-quality service, tools, products, and content you have come to rely on from TCG Player. This means that any orders you've placed via the TCG Player marketplace or agreements you have in place with us will remain unchanged. Your contacts at TCG Player will also remain the same, and all business will continue as normal." So I think if that is trustable, this might be at least okay. But I think that given eBay's reputation for fucking sellers over, that's unlikely at best.
Yeah. So yeah, Greg, like what like I call bullshit on that, but like, what do you think?
In my professional job, so my full-time job is I'm a mechanical design engineer. I've worked for 2 businesses now that have been acquired by behemoths. My first job was acquired by Caterpillar, and my second job, we recently got acquired by a company called Waptec. Huge in the railroad. But you give a giant company domain over a smaller one, they meddle. Sometimes it's quickly, sometimes it's immediately. We noticed a change day one. Everything they told us was an absolute lie, and things went downhill for the entire company quickly after that. So far with Waptec, they've been fine. They've barely meddled, and we'll wait and see. So if eBay's smart in the least bit, their meddling will be slow and steady, but we all know it's going to happen. Big companies can't help themselves. Their attitude is, we're big, we know what we're doing, we're clearly more successful than you because we're worth more than you, despite the fact that we just bought you because we needed you. They can't help themselves. We all know change is going to happen. It depends on how quickly.
They're like the Borg.
But
You will be assimilated.
yeah, there you go.
Aha!
We've come
Danger,
full
Will
circle.
Robinson.
But this is what I would say, though, right? Like from a business perspective, you're only as profitable as your customer is happy, right? And when you talk about a marketplace, if if the customers are not happy on the service they get, so again, eBay's customer is not the buyer. Keep this in mind, right? Like eBay's customer is the seller, because people need to sell for eBay to make money. They don't give a shit about the buyer. That's why the buyer is more looked at as which I don't know
Isn't that
why.
like the opposite of what we were all just saying, though.
I agree, but it's kind of weird how they prioritize the buyer from a satisfaction perspective. The thing is, and I guess I'm walking backwards on that one, but at the same time, they truly make their money off of the people who sell.
I think so. There's a couple of things with that. eBay being an old dog and kind of being like a generalist marketplace. I think their commitment to siding with the buyer almost exclusively comes from that's how they built their trust to begin with, because 15 years ago, nobody trusted the internet, right?
Sure.
Half the people on the planet hadn't even heard of it. So that's
The
how they
internet?
became so big. Well, yeah. What is this computer?
Okay. I mean, it's 2022, but keep going.
I'm talking about like when eBay was trying to
Okay.
accumulate, a mass market. That's how you do it. And now I had another point, but it was completely derailed.
Sorry, bud. Yeah,
That's
but
all
it
right.
is kind of scary to to buy shit on eBay. I lied earlier. I did actually buy one thing one time. It was a pair of grips for 1911. Did you guys ever see the movie Cobra with Sylvester Stallone?
I have not.
Long time ago.
Right. Okay, but it's awesome, right? You had good memories of it.
Sure. They're
All
not
right. Anyway, but he had a gun. and,
Adrian.
Nope. And the gun had like a cobra on it. So I got that for my father-in-law, and he fucking loved that shit. So yeah, but I was scared. It was like $8 buy, and I was just like, am I gonna lose my credit card?
Right.
That was like 5 years ago.
That's their whole thing. I think eBay. It was a lot more sketchy to begin with too. It's a lot more like Craigslist, where like you never know what you're gonna find, and you have no idea if it's real.
Back in the
And
day,
a lot
you
of
had
it's
to
wild
cash
shit.
Mike, you're young. Literally back in the day on eBay, you had to wire transfer or get a banker's check to send to someone. Like buying was a month-long process because they would wait for the check to clear if it was anything but a cashier's check. There was no.
Right. And I actually remember when they started selling like cars on eBay, like eBay autos.
eBay mode, yeah.
Oh my God, that was horrific, man. There's a lot of people that got screwed when that first launched. That was a botched launch. Well, okay, so to kind of just round this out, right? Like, so we've sort of established that the idea here is, we still, I think the jury is going to be out on this acquisition. It's going to be quite a while before we see the impact to this, right? I do wonder, will there be a 2023 hike on fees coming to TCG Player to come in line with how eBay does it? Because at this point, as far as I'm aware, and Greg, tell me if I'm wrong, but the fees on TCG Player are actually slightly lower than the fees that are on eBay currently.
Depends on your seller level. So I think a level 4 seller, it's 2.5%, PayPal fee and a 975 TCG fee. I am a pro seller, so I think it's 2.5 PayPal and 10.5 TCG.
I forgot that PayPal takes a cut too.
Yeah, people get confused because TCG has a max cap on their fees. So they say no matter what, we will never take more than $50. So you can sell a $10,000 item on TCG. TCG fees only going to be $50. But then you get the occasional sellers be like, y'all took more than $50. Why y'all lying? Well, it's because the 2.5% PayPal doesn't have a cap on it. That's just your credit card processing fee.
Oh, there's no cap on that?
Not on the PayPal fee because it's just a credit card fee. You know?
Yeah, I know. Essentially, yeah.
Yeah. So there is no cap on that.
Okay.
No. My wife works in the fintech industry. It's corruption all the way down.
Always has been.
Yeah. So no. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Greg.
Yeah. Without a doubt, at some point, PayPal, short of a new competitor showing up, eBay is going to start increasing the fees. Whether they do it incremental or just a one-time pow, we think we can get away with it, deal with it, is the bigger question.
I mean, they have to. I mean, where else would they get any of this money back? You know?
Well, you can start cutting fees elsewhere. I mean, you have some redundancies in positions, whether
sure.
it's realistically, we all know eBay doesn't care about sellers. I gave a great example how TCG does with my screw up. You can stop quickly all sorts of compensation like that when you have things like that, or just siding with the buyers more and more often. Because like TCG, they cover you for track. If you follow the rules for track shipping, they cover you 100%. That thing will say delivered in the mailbox when you do your tracking. And if the buyer says, I didn't get it, TCG has a seller's back, no matter the dollar cost.
Well,
would you say that this is comparable in any way to Amazon having a general stranglehold on the product market for digital selling?
Short term, yeah. There is no true competitor out there anymore. I think a lot of sellers would have been less nervous had TCG not acquired Channel Fireball, because I think you would have seen a large flood to Channel Fireball. I mean, I was not on there. I do have a registered business, so I could have joined it, even though I don't own a storefront. But I think everyone would be far less nervous had Channel Fireball still had its marketplace.
What are the other even legitimate marketplace options? I know there's SCG is still around, right? And Card Kingdom is the other one that I really am aware of.
Oh, you're talking Star City Games?
Yeah.
So you got
they have a marketplace, right?
Games. They're not a marketplace. They're just an independent seller.
Oh, they're just a store. Oh, so they don't even count.
No, they have accounts. Some of them have accounts with TCG, but they still are large, just web stores for their own stuff.
What about Card Kingdom? Are they their own thing?
Nah, they're their own thing. They're like ABU Games and Star Cities.
Oh, so what other options even are there?
There is the trading option, CardSphere. I've heard good things about it and haven't used it myself. It is, from my understanding, a far better version of what the Puka trade was. I don't know which one officially came first, but
Puka trade was first, and then CardSphere.
Yeah, and CardSphere didn't screw up their marketplace, basically.
Right.
I don't know the full Puka story, but they shot themselves in the foot and couldn't recover, is my understanding. But CardSphere is run by two dedicated, great people. They like what they do. Most of their customers really like it. Otherwise, with regards to general marketplaces, I am only aware of one very obscure site that has a marketplace.
Yeah, so there is a cardtrader.com. So I've gone there before to buy like boxes, so you can buy things from Card Trader. But they have their marketplace recently has sort of gone quite stagnant. There's not a lot there. I'll say that. There are still people who sell on there. But this one is also considered a kind of like a global marketplace. So Card Trader is the only one that I am aware of from a global perspective that I have awareness of that buys and has a marketplace, so to speak.
I'm looking at that website. Was this the place that said like 5% fees and that was it when they started?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's amazing they're still around. But you can tell that their marketplace is quite low.
I'm looking right now. It's definitely sparse.
Yeah. So, I mean, in absence of a real competitor in this space, I think one of the things that I sort of think about is if somebody was to compete with this eBay, TCG Player, Channel Fireball conglomerate of marketplace, like it's literally now the marketplace of marketplaces. Like it's the
grand exchange of cardboard crack.
Right. And they're literally, I mean, I think they're not going to cannibalize themselves from a fees and a selling perspective, right? The only differentiator there is going to be the people who sell out of these platforms and how much they put their product up to sell. So I guess the question that I have is, knowing that these are your only avenues to sell, do you potentially question if you still want to sell cards at all in the market through these marketplaces?
Short term, I got no choice, so I'm gonna have to go for the ride for as long as I can stomach it. Or maybe we'll get lucky and they won't fiddle around with TCG too much. But the more they increase the seller fees and potentially the worse customer service they start delivering, opens up an opportunity for somehow maybe a card trader expanding again, or a new site to open up. Because at the end of the day, or what may happen is the game stores a lot of the, especially larger ones, have their own Crystal Commerce driven website. They will get far better and more adept at getting their customers, trying to get new customers through TCG eBay, and then kind of hooking them to go to their site directly.
If there were to be more startups to join the pool of marketplaces, what would it take to get you to switch to a new mom and pop cardboard marketplace?
There's a couple things they could do to help themselves out to start with. One would be, and I don't know how easy or tough this is, but I'd say the vast majority of the sellers use Crystal Commerce. If day one from launch, you could go, bam, we're integrated with Crystal Commerce. All the game stores have to do is, open up that option and bam, they can start selling on the new platform with little to no work on their end. Plus, that also helps reassure people that you have the backing and the ability to start in the right spot, and just general knowledge of the TCG marketplace. Trying to grow small and organically is always doable, but it's a lot tougher if you don't have those important integrations already set up.
Sure.
Wow. Something that's interesting that I was just poking at for Crystal Commerce. Crystal Commerce and the Amazon API connection between the two systems was retired as of January of this year.
I'm not too surprised. I don't know too many.
Yeah.
Stores that ever messed with Amazon.
Yeah, I mean, but that's interesting, right? Because if you think about it, that took away stores. So as Wizards started listing eBay, direct to Amazon selling, here now some of the larger e-commerce, the commerce applications that are connected to stores are, Crystal Commerce being one of those big ones, as you mentioned, right? they no longer have the ability to send those listings out to Amazon.
That's kind of snaky.
That's kind of interesting.
That I bet you that's intentional. Obviously, Wizard doesn't want competition with the game stores, which sounds stupid at face value because the game stores are the prime mover of their product. But let's be honest, you cut out the distributor, you can make a lot more money working with Amazon. I guarantee you they have reduced fees.
Wizards, I don't need to start a rant. They got me on a rant a couple episodes ago about how Wizards is trying to cut the player out of the game. And that's just going to be another step towards it.
So, so to wrap this all up in a bow, Greg, and then we can certainly let you go from this nonsensical conversation that we're having with our wonderful backgrounds. If as fees raises, like, is there a ceiling for you when it comes to selling on TCG Player? Like, we there in the selling world, or at least in the conversations that I've had with certain folks that sell on these different marketplaces, like there is a limit, right? There is a cap of what you then say, you know what, I'm done. And so, like, for me, that cap was once those fees kind of reached like that 11.5% on eBay, that was it for me, right? Like, I was like, I can't do that anymore. From 9 to 11, that's a shipping fee in some cases, right? So, do you, and I don't want to sort of you to divulge your sort of your business model, but like, do you have that in mind of what is your ceiling? What is your cap before you say, you know what, maybe this is just not for me anymore?
I think if the total fees got towards the 15%, now this is the PayPal with the eBay or TCG fee. I think 15% is the absolute limit where I'd call it a day. Once we start hitting 13, 14 is probably where I just stop buying new stuff. Sure, I'll sell up my existing inventory and then stop putting any effort in after that.
So in the long run, if nobody comes in to try to fill in the power vacuum that this has kind of created, are you saying that this is probably going to push people out of the market entirely? Like, as far as small sellers are concerned?
Yeah. I mean, you're always going to get the guy who pulls one expensive card and wants to sell it. Who cares about that?
Sure.
I'm a small seller on TCG. I mean, most of my cards are worth under $5. Okay, that's fine by me. I don't care. There's a market for it. So, yeah, I think once you start getting, why do I want to sell a 75-cent card and get 15, 20% in fees? Oh, no, I made 15 cents on the deal or whatever. Like, what is the point after that?
Right.
Don't spend it all in one place.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a very interesting topic and something that I think over time we will certainly see how that sort of all pans out. I think more to come, right? As we hear that, in 2023, Q1 2023 is when the expectation of this acquisition will basically come to fruition. And I think it's still going to take probably a year. So we're probably going to be revisiting this in 2024 to really say, and if this podcast is still around, but yeah, but like we'll be revisiting this, right, and saying, where did we land? On closing, Greg, first off, thanks for joining us. Really appreciate your time coming on here and talking about this topic. I think, again, like I said, this is more to come, but check out if you don't know Shipping Shield, Greg is the owner and operator of Shipping Shield. Plug your Twitter, plug your website, and plug everything about your business.
Thank you. So I created Shipping Shield about 2 years ago. Created a cardboard top loader replacement made in America, designed by me. My manufacturer is 15 minutes from my house and helps me save costs by not even needing to pay a shipping company to even deliver the product to me. You can visit, you can request a free sample at shippingshieldus.com. And you can follow me at Twitter at Shipping Shield, Instagrams at Shipping Shield, and follow my store on Facebook.
Sounds good. And again, thanks again, Greg, for your time. Really appreciate you joining us today. And looking forward to hopefully having you back on at some point.
Sounds terrific. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to our most recent episode of Uneducated Gamers. You can go to Galaxy Game TV to post comments on each of our episodes, or if you have a question or a topic you would like us to include in an episode, feel free to leave a comment. Until next week, we bid you farewell.